My name is Archangel Gabriel, and the year is 1776. I was assigned to a specific mission to come back to planet Kai to help fight against evil forces in Richmond, Virginia. I incarnated into the body of a male child. This male child would go on to be named Gabriel Prosser. This is my story. It is a story of faith. It is a story of strength, resilience, courage. A story that is hidden from the public. A story of a soul who was truly willing to do anything for freedom.
Peace to the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. Peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation. Peace to the high vibrational human beings within the university. And peace to the ancestors for working through me. We are back for another deep, divine download. It's always a blessing to communicate with you all and spread esoteric truth and bring more enlightenment to the collective consciousness. Well, I have a disclaimer before we get rolling. You already know if you don't like, if you're white and you're listening to this message and you don't like black guys, please exit the motherfucking university now. Thank you. If you're black and you don't like white people, we do not support racism in here. Only esoteric truth. Please exit the motherfucking university now. Thank you. If you have a problem with listening to our audio message, you know, because my people, they post, my team, they post and they read our comments and they see y'all out there, some people out there just flat out smooth balls, capital smoothie balls, straight smoothies, and they, why does it sound like that? And I can't hear him. But it's recorded over a jail phone. All right. So if you got an issue with listening, you know what I'm saying, with listening and turning your volume up, please exit the motherfucking university now. Thank you. All right? We have no time for the smoothies and smoothicious out there. No time for the smoofery. All right? We have no time for the smoofery. All right? So with that being said, you know, we don't discriminate. The message is for everybody. You know, if you drink, pull that thing up. It's just on the rocks, off the rocks, however you like. If you smoke, roll that thing up. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, we don't promote alcohol. I'm not promoting for you to go get drunk. I'm not promoting for you to go get high. I'm not promoting for you to do anything that you don't do. If you are a sober individual, stay sober and stay high off life. You get what I'm saying? But the purpose of me telling you to if you drink, you're welcome. You can drink in here. You can smoke in here. You can be yourself in here. It's always been about real over rich within the University of Cosmic Intelligence. Every lecture I give, this is my spiritual ashram. Every time you listen, you are walking into my university, the University of Cosmic Intelligence, which is a spiritual and philosophical institution within you, the listener. Okay? So I've always wanted you to be yourself, be comfortable, because I remember how I was growing up. You go to church and nigga had to have on a suit, she had to have on the dress, you had to be dressed formal. You know, I remember seeing people coming to church, they couldn't afford suits. You know, I went to church in the projects. I went to church in the heart of the Winter Green Projects in Chicago, Illinois, on the north side, that downtown Gold Coast area. You feel me? I recall people coming in and they might not have had a suit. And they might not have had a dress and couldn't afford it. And, you know, you always got them new people that try to come into the congregation, you know, and that, because you know how it be, when the new people that's coming to the congregation at the end of the pastor's sermon, y'all remember how church used to be. At the end of the pastor's sermon, the pastor would stand up. And, I mean, he would not stand up. He's already standing up. But the pastor would address the whole entire congregation. And here they get to playing their little music. Let me get a note from the choir, and they get to humming and shit. And then he was like, say yes. And before we leave this Sunday, we like the new people in the congregation to stand up, and 5, 6 people stand up, and that's their first time there. And this is their first time here today, and we would like to welcome Sister Jones and Sister, you know, right? And I remember people that didn't get that experience because they would get turned around at the door because of what they had on. And I never forget that as a child, like, damn, you know, y'all ain't gonna let him in because he can't afford a suit. Nigga on a white t-shirt and some jeans. He can't come in. He can't come pray. He can't come be saved, right? Because of what the nigga got on. But we just said, God, Jesus love everybody. But we not gonna let brother in because he can't afford a suit. We not gonna let her in because she can't afford a dress. I seen that. You know, I seen people get turned away. You know, people that had crack addictions. You know what I'm saying? get turned away in full tears, and I felt like it wasn't right. So in university, I don't care what you is. I don't care if you what you do, what you're addicted to, because I'm gonna give you spiritual healing. And when you listen to this information in here, whatever you are struggling with, whatever advice you are dealing with, I guarantee you, you're gonna heal from that. I don't have to judge you. I don't have to push you away, because as the energy cycle goes on, as you continue to listen and thumb through these audio lectures and these live lectures that's on my YouTube channel, the University of Cosmic Intelligence. As you thumb through these and go through these, you'll begin to grow spiritually, and that brings healing, and that heals your soul, and then that's going to help you work on healing your shadow side, on your childhood trauma. I have faith in that. That's what I'm here to do. So that's why I say, come as you are. I don't care if you're black, white, green, pink, blue, tall, short, gay, straight, rich, poor, skinny, fat, B, G, blood, Crip, Catholic, Christian, Muslim, Jehovah's Witness, Judaism. You know what I'm saying? Non-denominational, atheist. I don't care about none of that. We don't do that in here, because we are all children of the ancestors, a.k.a. Almighty God, a.k.a. the infinite creator. So that's what it's about, man. So, and before we roll to the deep divine download, it's only imperative that we open it up with the right spiritual energy. So I like to start by sending peace and the deepest of insights to my elders, those 65 and older in the university, because it's all we supposed to always give respect to the elders in this reality, because they opened the door for us, right? They walked the path before us. A lot of the oppression, a lot of the things that we are dealing with now, they were dealing with back then in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and 50s and 40s and 1920s and the 1800s and 1700s. It's literally nothing new under the sun, because the only thing under the sun on this planet is the souls. I repeat, there's nothing new under the sun, because the only thing that's under the sun physically on this planet is the souls. And this is why I keep telling y'all that no soul is new here. There are no new souls. We all reincarnate or we come back voluntarily, right? So we the only thing under the sun, the souls inside these vessels, inside of these bodies, inside of these avatars, right? And none of these souls knew, right? The soul knows all truths, because before time existed, we existed. There is no death. There is no life, right? You only land here and then you transcend from this planet, right? That's the truth. That's the real truth, right? So, but those who are elders in this lifetime, that means they have just been on this planet a lot longer than we have in the physical. That's all that means. That doesn't mean that their soul is necessarily older than yours. It just means, hey, they might have came here in 1980. You ain't come back here to 2000. So when you come back in this lifetime, you know, they're going to be your elder. But cosmically, you might be their elder. Your soul might have been in inception longer than theirs, right? So I always give respect to the elders. And I would also like to send a deepest insight to my peers, those in their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s within the university, because we are the bridge that connects the two. We connect the youth to the elders and the elders to the youth. And I know some of y'all like to fly through this introduction, but this introduction is important too. It's my cosmic greeting back to the cosmos. It's me giving thanks to the ancestors for working through me. It's me sending peace to all the high vibrational human beings, which are your Caucasians and your Chinese and Japanese, which are your synthetic Asians, your Mexicans, your Dravidians, and your Arabs, because it's not about black and white. It's about the spirit and soul within inside the body, right? And then, and last but not least, definitely send the deepest insight to the youth, the blue crystal babies, those 18 and 19 and under within the university that listen to these messages, that spread them all over TikTok. I have over 1 billion views on TikTok through my hashtags, and it's strictly because of the blue crystal babies. They've been listening since they was 8, 9, 10. Like I said, this university is 8 to 80, right? You have entire families that used to gather around every Sunday and watch these lectures when I used to go live, when I was free out there physically. You have children that was 9 years old when they start listening to me, and we've been teaching publicly in this university for 5 years now, right? And now they 13 and 14. So you have people in here that was 15, and they started listening to me when they was freshmen in high school, but now they out of high school, right? Because high school is only 4 man-made years, right? So you got people that were single and then came into the university, be it through an Instagram live or a Facebook live or me being live on YouTube, Because whenever I'm live, that means the doors are open. That means the university is open, right? Because I carry the university within myself. My voice is the university. My spirit, my soul is the university, right? You have people that have met through this university in the comments. I used to throw cosmic family reunions as people that came into my family reunion single and left with their future husband or their future wife, and they are still together for going on 5 years. True story, right? So I always gotta, send a deeper insight to the youth because they was really pushing. And they not really the youth because ain't no such thing as young and old. It's just the present, right, in a way, right? So this is why I always send the deepest insight to the blue crystal babies because they are powerful souls, right? They just got back here, but they very powerful souls. So never underestimate your children, your babies out there, or the younger kids or the teens just because you may be in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and your 50s. Don't look down upon them, right? Treat them equally, right? And I'll tell the youth to respect your elders, right? Don't disrespect them because you feel like they older than you and they can't relate because they walked your shoes that you walking right now before. And in essence, we are all spirits and souls. So you can't put an age, you can't put a time on that. So we should love each other and treat each other with the same amount of respect. Let's not get divided by race. Let's not be divided by age. Let's not be divided by economic status, who has the most money. Let's not be divided by social status, who's famous, who's not, right? Let's not be divided by religious beliefs. Let's not be divided by sexual beliefs, right? Let's not be divided by gang ties. Let's not be divided by anything, and that's what the university is about. Fuck all the bullshit, man. So as we sit here gathered today in what's supposed to be their version of Black History Month, this is why I bring this lecture to you today about Gabriel Prosser, right? A Black revolutionary that's rarely spoken about within the school history books. This entire lecture, this entire download was inspired by the fact that we are in what they call Black History Month. And I don't respect Black History Month. As a child, I always loved it, though. But as I matured, I don't respect it, right? Because it's a childish thing to sit here and try to take the greatness of what Blacks and Latinos, because Blacks and Latinos go hand in hand. There's no separation. I don't give a fuck how you feel out there. I still got Latinos that's in the university and be mad at me when I say that Blacks and Latinos are the same species. They be pissed off. I fuck with you, Rashad, but I'm not Black, bro. Okay, keep living the lie you want to live. I understand the programming. I got niggas. I got gods and goddesses. I fuck with you, God. You said some real shit, but I ain't no goddamn Latino. And they be despised. They be despised by just even thinking that they could be a Latino because they haven't done their research. They haven't went within or they haven't been without. They ain't went within and they ain't been without, right? They ain't researched and they ain't searched. Remember, what did I teach you all what research was? First, you have to search within first. And then you go research what you've already been shown by going within. And it'll be shown to you through your research as well, because this is how the infinite creator works. This is how the ancestors work. All right? At the end of the day, Black History Month is something that they push in our face, and they give the month with the least amount of their days to us. 28 days, right? We couldn't even get a month with 31 days, right? We couldn't even get a month with 31 days. They gave us the month with 28 days, and they say, here you guys go. Here you uppity. Here you go, Negroes. You all right? Here you go. You take these 28 days, and we'll pay you a little homage, but we still ain't gonna pay you too much. We got certain individuals that we have picked and we have chosen, and we will share their stories with you. But your true history of where you come from and your greatness and the contributions that you have made to society, we will continue to keep that tucked away from you. We will continue to mislead you. We will continue to put Black people in front of you that were puppets. We will limit you to saying, hey, you created the hot cone, Madam C.J. Walker. We will limit you to give you George Washington Carver and say, hey, you guys did some amazing things with that peanut. You see what I'm saying? We will limit you with Booker T. Washington stories. We will limit you with Frederick Douglass stories. We will limit you. We'll tell you a little bit about Harriet Tubman, but we ain't even going to give you the real spill on her. We'll never even tell you that the first president of this country was Black. We're going to paint him as a white guy, right? We're not even going to tell you that the same president that even signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which they like to say that the Emancipation Proclamation freed the slaves, but it did not. We're still going to pay him as a white guy too, right? We'll give you Martin Luther King and we'll give him a national holiday and we'll celebrate the fuck out of it, but we're going to act like Malcolm never existed. You get what I'm saying? We're not going to talk to you about what was going on in ancient Africa. We're not even going to talk to you about what's going on in ancient Egypt. And when we do talk to you about ancient Egypt, we're going to paint those as white people too. Oh yeah, and by the way, we're going to show you something called Mount Everest, and we're going to say that on Mount Everest, these are the founding fathers of this country, meaning some of the greatest individuals who have put in the most prestigious work of this country, of America, which is supposed to be this great republic. We're going to put them on this mountain, and we're going to idolize them, and we're going to say these are the founding fathers of the country, right? But on Mount Everest, there's not one black face on Mount Everest. So that's us reminding you how we really feel about you, right? That's us reminding you how we really feel about you, right? And all your true stories that would inspire you to levels of greatness, that will tap into the spirit within you, we're going to disconnect you from. We're going to demonize your ancient culture of practicing at altars and practicing with herbs and candles and communicating with the animals and wearing crystals and practicing magic, which is divination, which is the original art. I repeat, magic, which is divination, is the original art. But we're going to demonize that and call it witchcraft. We're going to make a bunch of movies and call them horror movies and make you look crazy if you even want to think like this. We're not going to let you know that extraterrestrial races exist and been living on the planet as well as visiting the planet since you all created the planet. We'd rather show you these extraterrestrial races, and we're going to call them UFOs, unidentified flying objects, acting like we don't know what the hell it is, right? That's what we're going to do to you. We're going to hit school. We're going to tell you that Christopher Columbus discovered this land. We're going to tell you that you black people were not even here first. It was some red people that were here, and we killed those red people. Yeah, we'll say we killed those red people, but we're still going to say that a Spanish individual by the name of Christopher Columbus discovered the country. We're going to make you believe that you come from Africa, and that's where all black people come from, is Africa. You know why? Because we can't let you know that black people, we can't let you know that y'all was everywhere. We won't tell you that during Black History Month. We're not going to let you know that blacks and Latinos are literally the same species, that you all were just one species, and we came and enslaved you and raped you and reclassified you under different titles, which is why nowadays y'all think y'all Latinos and y'all think y'all African Americans. You right? South America is an example of this. We're not going to tell you none of this in Black history, right? So this is what brings us today, Cosmic Family, to this lecture, Gabriel Prosser, right? This is my way of celebrating Black History Month, because I don't celebrate the month. I celebrate Black history every day. There's no way that you can sum up the contributions that we have made to this republic after we were enslaved in it. There's no, or to this planet, or to this galaxy or this cosmos in 28 days. We invented everything, and we created everything. Everything they got, they stole from us down to rock and roll. Chuck Berry was Black God. He was the first rock and roll player, and rock and roll originated from the blues. Country music started from the blues. The first country singer was black. Who you think wrote all Elvis songs? She was black. Everything came and started with us, and that's not being racist. That's called being honest. But when we sit here and pay homage to our greatness, we are called racist. I'm sitting here, I'm pushing our story, and I'm considered a racist. I'm considered a cult leader for pushing the true narrative, and now I sit here in a cell labeled a cult leader, labeled a child molester for pushing the truth about Black history. So yes, welcome to Black History Month once again, Cosmic Family, right? Because when you do teach real Black history, they Rashad Jamal you, they Dr. York you, they Yahweh Ben Yahweh you, they Martin Luther King you, and Malcolm X you. They Nipsey Hussle you. They Tupac you. They Harriet Tubman you. Why did they put her face all over the goddamn South and was trying to kill her? Because she knew her real Black history, and she knew we wasn't supposed to be no motherfucking slaves. So she risked her life every time to go get as many as she can get to free as many as she can free. And like she always said, her famous quote, I could have freed more slaves if only they knew that they were slaves. Because some Negroes, like today, back then, they didn't even believe they was enslaved. Hell, they became so content, so passive with being enslaved that when Harriet Tubman came to remove them from their suffering, from their enslavement, they would take up for their master. They would say, no, you are fucking tripping, Harriet. I'm not running into the woods with you because master don't treat us that bad. Let me repeat that. You are tripping, Harriet. I'm not running into the woods with you. You are crazy. Master treats us damn good here. It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. It might be bad, but it ain't that bad. Do you see how mentally enslaved they had us then? And doesn't that sound familiar today? I consider myself a modern-day Harriet Tubman. The only difference is Harriet Tubman was freeing the slaves physically, and I'm here to free those who have been mentally enslaved. And every time, because I broke away from the Matrix, I got away. And every time I come back into the Matrix with another deep divine download, with another audio lecture, with another live lecture, pushing this message, I am stepping into this legalized slave plantation.
You have 1 minute left.
This legalized slave plantation of those who have been mentally enslaved. And when I come with the lecture and I come with the information to expose and help free your mind, yes, some of y'all come with me and I take y'all north and I help y'all for not free y'all. But others I come back for you niggas say, you know what? This nigga is crazy. Like, what you mean Black History Month? We should celebrate it. What you mean Jesus ain't real? What you mean there was two sons? What you mean we come from another planet? I ain't come from no planet. What you mean I'm a God? I ain't a God, I'm a man. This nigga crazy. And you right. Master might have told me I was a man, and Master might have lied to me, but it ain't that bad. He ain't lied that bad. You see how history repeats itself? I'm going to let that sit on your brain. I'm going to let that sit on your brain for a second. Your spirit and your soul. And your mind. Right? And your mind. Because when we talk about real Black history, people get offended.
Thank you for using Securus. Good.
Yes. So, sorry for the delay. As you know, that happens because these calls are only 20 to 25 minutes long, so I have to call back. But let's keep it going. So, when we talk about real Black history, people get offended. And who gets offended? A particular set of people. The same people that oppress us, the people that spread white supremacy get offended. The white people that's not racist, that are not white supremacists, they don't get offended. You right? If anything, they get confused, but they don't get offended. The only people get offended is the people that have staged and structured society to make us believe this false narrative about true Black history, right? And that's the very reason why I have a hard time. Hey, y'all, Blacks and Latinos, we the same species, and I got a whole bunch of niggas. Man, this nigga crazy. I'm like, but your master has lied to you. Well, he may have lied, but it ain't that bad. Well, I'm here to free you from this mental slave plantation, to help you escape this matrix. And guess what niggas say? Well, you must be crazy. You crazy. Like they did Harriet Tubman. She crazy, right? And time again, I come into this matrix with every audio lecture, with every live lecture, and I free some of you, and I help y'all escape the mental enslavement, the spiritual enslavement that they have you under. And then some of y'all want to stay on the plantation, so I leave your ass there. And you can say I'm crazy, and you can say we crazy for running away from the matrix, and we are leaving spiritual enslavement, and we are escaping to the north. It's a truth. It's a real spiritual freedom and mental freedom where we can be free thinkers and we can be ourselves, our unique selves, without fear of judgment, without fear of suffering, without fear of being antagonized or attacked. That's what we do here. That's what I'm here to motherfucking do. Right? And just like they had wanted signs for Harriet Tubman all over the goddamn South, they got wanted signs from Rashad Jamal all over the goddamn planet. And guess what, though? Just like Harriet Tubman was never touched, and she every time she came, over 300 times she came to rescue niggas, and over 300 times she got away, never lost a slave. And it's the same thing with Rashad Jamal. Over 300, they went over 3,000 times I done went into this matrix, and over 3,000 times I done got away, never lost a mental slave. Every mental slave I came to get, I freed them, and I bet they not slaves anymore. I bet they know who they are. I bet they are spiritually free because I led them out of mental slavery and into spiritual enlightenment. And the only ones that turned on me, that believe the bullshit narrative that has painted on me, is those that didn't accept their real Black history. It's the few mental slaves that when I came to save them, and we began to escape, and we got in the woods, they got scared when they came and grabbed me, and they turned around and went back to the mental slave plantation. Right? And they can't say no Rashad Jamal nothing than they on the mental slave plantation, aka the Matrix. Right? So they have to say fuck me now, because they back on the plantation with Massa. Because if they say anything, Massa don't like me. So if they say anything good about me while living with Massa, we know what Massa's going to do to them. Same way with Harriet Tubman. We're talking about Black history right now, Cosmic Family. Stay with me. Stay with me. Because you know it's a Sufi out there that just started listening last week. I thought this election was about Gabriel Prosser. It is, if you listen, Snoofy. We have no time for the smoofery. And if you feel like I'm taking too long to get to the point, exit the motherfucking university now. Because I always come back and connect all dots. So like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by negative comments because I don't have to see them. I am everything and everything is me. I can feel them. You feel me? So before, I was rudely interrupted by negative thoughts and negative comments and bots and clones out there. Like I was saying, they did Harriet Tubman the same way, right? So, but they won't tell you that. They won't tell you about true stories in Black History Month. We never heard of Denmark Vesey, or VZ as they like to pronounce it. We never heard stories of Nat Turner in our American history books. We never heard stories of Charles Dessalines in our American history books. We never heard stories of Toussaint Louverture, which is my past life, in our history books. We don't hear stories about Mami Wataz and the Orishas in our history books. We don't hear stories about who really built the pyramids in our history books. We don't hear stories about ancient Atlantis in our history books. We don't hear stories about the Californian tribe and the Sequoia tribes and the Dakota tribes and all the tribes of this country or this land in our history books. We don't hear stories about the true stories of the Mayas and the Incas and the Aztecs in our history books. No, we don't. We get it all watered down, right? And they don't definitely talk about Gabriel Prosser in our history books. And that's why we're going to talk about him today, right? Because, see, you got to understand something, Cosmic Family. When you say names like Gabriel Prosser, Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, or VZ, right? Charles Dessalines, Toussaint Louverture. You get what I'm saying? When you speak these type of names, Duddy Bookman, right? These are all individuals who led slave rebellions and slave uprisings. Why? Because they believed in freedom. And they seen the suffering of our people, and they understood one thing that we still don't understand today. Your oppressor will never give you freedom. He took the freedom from you for a motherfucking reason. So what makes you think he's going to just give it back to you? And when he took it from you, he took it in war. He took it in cold blood. That's exactly what he did, right? That's exactly what he did. So you can't sit around hoping freedom will come to you. Sometimes you got to take physical action and defend yourself. And that's what they were doing in these slave uprisings. And they don't want to tell these stories about Gabriel Prosser because then it's going to inspire you, right? They don't talk about the Gullah Wars. They don't talk about the fact that, honestly, we never were enslaved. 5% of us were enslaved, but not 95% of us was not enslaved. When that period of slavery that they like to teach about, they don't tell you that 95% of us blacks were not enslaved. We were actually fighting back. They don't tell you that in school. Only 5% of us were actually enslaved, and those were the blacks that would get caught during the wars where we was having back and forth, defending our country and defending our families, well, our land and defending our families. And those that would get caught, they would become what was known as prisoners of war, right? And these are the ones that became slaves. This is why if you go research slave plantations, you'll see most slave plantations only had 50 slaves living on them. The biggest slave plantation in this country maybe had 100 to 200 slaves on it. And it was only maybe 200 plantations, and they was all in the South. So you got to ask yourself, if there was billions of us on the planet, where the hell was everybody else at? Because these plantations, it should have been millions of slave plantations, and each one should have had tens of thousands of us on it. Now that would make sense. That would basically, you know, that would account for the entire population of black indigenous beings that we were before they came here. We were tribes before we became enslaved and became African Americans and Latin Americans. We were in a tribal state, right? So that would account for all the tribes. They tell you it was billions of Indians. Well, we the Indians. Shout out to Brother Dan Calloway. He's done years breaking that down, and I definitely appreciate his work he's done. Big fan of Dan Calloway because he specializes in showing you that black people are Indians, are the real Indians. The Blackfoot, Redfoot, Choctaw, Cherokee, exactly. Latinos are the real Indians. We are the real natives. Right? We are indigenous to the land. We are the original tribes. Right? So where did everybody go? Because there's not enough slave plantations in history books to cover where the entire map is. 200 slave plantations with an average of 50 people does not account for 8 billion people. So where the fuck was everybody at? We were free. I gotta do a simple math to get to that, but they don't tell you that in black history. Right? And the reason they don't do that is because you have to start talking about names like Charles Long, who led one of the biggest slave rebellions, and Gabriel Prosser. Right? So today we'll talk about Gabriel Prosser. And you can go look up Nat and the rest of them on your own, or I'll do downloads about them when I come home. Which will be sooner than later. Very sooner than later. But Gabriel Prosser stood 6'2", 6'3". He was literate. He was a blacksmith, so he was very intelligent. He landed here, was born in their year of 1776, Richmond, Virginia. Okay. He was married. His wife's name was Nan. Gabriel Prosser came from. He knew he was one of those black people that, like I say, he was literate. He was a blacksmith, so he understood his history. He understood who he was, where he came from. He was aware that we were tribes. He was aware that he was born into slavery because his grandfather was an actual chief. He was the actual chief of the Cherokee tribe, and he understood that his mother had got caught in a war between the Cherokee and the Spanish, and the Cherokee kidnapped his mother while she was pregnant with him and enslaved his mother on the slave plantation, which is how he grew up on the slave plantation. See, he knew that. See, how if we go back and talk to those that was enslaved, they will tell you, these are your ancestors now, because you can't talk to them now. There's ways you can do that now, because they are in you. They will let you know. They knew that they were abducted from their true villages and shit like that. I'm talking about right here in this country. Right? They knew that. So he understood his history. And a lot of those that was enslaved did. Why do you think they tell you stories about, the slaves would run away and they would go escape to the woods with the Indians? We still with no goddamn Indians they was escaping with their goddamn families. And we knew the land better than the settlers, than the Spanish conquistadors who was taking over the land. They didn't know it better than us. So we knew what tree to run through, we knew portals we could cut through, swamps we could cut through. It's our land. So that's why my folks was run away, get away. But at the same time, Gabriel Prosser was one that really, truly understood this. He understood the history. He understood about spirituality. He understood about the angels and extraterrestrial races and how we had these great big pyramids at the time and how we come from greatness and how they came out these caves and took over. All the things I'm telling y'all he knew, and a lot of our people, our ancestors that was enslaved back then knew, because that part of our culture has been robbed from us yet. So even amongst those that was enslaved. But Gabriel Prosser was, his name was Gabriel, they called him Prosser, because he was a very prosperous individual. Not only was he literate, but he was making a nice living for himself as a blacksmith. Like I say, he stood about 6'2", 6'3". At least that's what they'll tell you if you look him up. But in reality, because we were more healthier back then, and the foods and things like that, he really stood about 6'7", 6'8". Very intimidating to a lot of the slave masters physically. He was. He landed in Richmond, Virginia, right? Which is, if you know the history of how the tribe the area of East Tribe, you would know that the Cherokee had the whole South. The Carolinas all the way to Mississippi, all of that was Cherokee land. So it would make sense that he was a descendant of the Cherokee tribe. So you can say, let's call him what he was. He was Cherokee. Right? And remember, they would enslave us and rename us African Americans. That's easy to do today. That ain't easy to do when you pull up on the ship today calling me an African American, and I just know yesterday I've been a Cherokee all my damn life. So you got that there. You have a war raging, right? At the same time between the tribes and the Spanish conquistadors that were trying to conquer the land. At that time, they was known as the 13 colonies, right? And Gabriel Prosser, they was in Richmond, Virginia. And he got tired of seeing how those slave masters was oppressing the people. So what he did was he was very spiritual, and he was very tapped in with the Orishas. And he kind of did what they did in the Haitian Revolution, where he made altars and he went out into nature and he meditated and he was inspired by the ancestors, by the Most High, by the Infinite Creator to lead this uprising, right? And he was blessed with the gift of speech, a gifted orator, so he was able to rile people up. And what he did was he was able to get hundreds of slaves, and they won't tell you this because they don't want you to know the power was. But he was able to actually get thousands. Now, in the books, if you look them up, they're going to say hundreds. They're going to say maybe 200-300. And he gathered thousands all over the South came. From state to state, they came and met in Richmond, Virginia. And he devised a plan for freedom. And his plan was, hey, to put an end to this, what we need to do is we need to ambush the armory, which the armory is where the 13 colonies had all their weapons at. We need to ambush that location, and once we get to the armory, we need to get all those weapons. Once we get those weapons, we need to go to the governor of the state, which was Governor James Monroe. Governor James Monroe was the governor of Virginia at this time. And Gabriel Prosser's plan was to go to Governor James Monroe's house, Governor Monroe's house, and hold him hostage and demand that he sign a petition and free all the slaves in Virginia, which he thought eventually would have led to all the governors in the South having to come together and free those who have been enslaved to our prisoners of war. And see, back then, we didn't even call ourselves slaves. We knew we were prisoners of war. And even then, they labeled us as prisoners of war. This whole, y'all were slaves, that's a new shit they started teaching in school in the 1950s. When it was really going on, we were never looked at as slaves. We were looked at as prisoners of war because that's what we were. And if they use the word prisoner of war, then that will let you know that they don't have any power. Because when they say they're slaves, is that that places power with them over you, subconsciously, right? Because you're like, damn, at one point in time, they completely dominate, but that ain't how they went. And that's another reason why they don't want you to know that majority of us were free. Slavery was a phase that lasted only so long, and only 5% of us was enslaved out of our entire population. Right? So, Gabriel Prosser, being aware of this, right? And another reason he was called Gabriel is because, see, I think a lot what people don't know is angels can materialize in the flesh, just like fallen angels can. And another thing that they don't speak about, that Gabriel Prosser is actually the Archangel Gabriel. The same archangel that went in that spoke and inspired the Prophet Muhammad and gave him the download, while Muhammad was in the desert, or was in deep meditation, which eventually would become the Quran of today, right? The same Archangel Gabriel that they talk about in the Bible that comes and gives messages to all of the prophets. Well, that same Gabriel materialized in Richmond, Virginia in their year 1776 in the form of a 6'7" black god that was there to inspire a revolution. And because those who oppress us, they deal with it on a spiritual level. They don't talk about that side because they worship Satan. They worship Zeus. So they have high priests, and they have fallen angels, and they have the Pope, who is the high priest for Satan, who are aware of this. This is why when we come here, they know exactly who we are by testing our blood. So they knew that Gabriel Prosser was actually the Archangel Gabriel who materialized through the womb of the mother and came to lead an uprising, because angels come and materialize too. Not all the time, but they do it. That's another lecture for another time. But this is the true reason why he was called Gabriel, right? And Gabriel Prosser, right, knew what his mission was in that lifetime, right? And he was able to gather everybody, because one thing about it, when powerful spiritual beings come to the planet, you know what we all have in common? We have the ability to gather millions. And that's what makes us stand out, right? How was he able to talk? Or she was able to talk? Because that's how you know when you're dealing with actual chosen ones. we are already so ranked up and respected cosmically that when we come into this, when we incarnate here, your other souls are going to recognize that and will be attracted to us by nature. And we are vibrating so high that Zeus is aware when we come here, and that's why he attacked the chosen ones even harder all throughout history. This is why. But Gabriel Prosser, he gathered all these slaves, right? And everybody agreed on the plan. The plan was set in stone. But the plan didn't go through because the night of when they was going to go to the governor's house, a rainstorm came through, right? They had taken a rainstorm came through and it rained real hard. But the rainstorm was divine because it wasn't meant for the slaves to take over Richmond. It was just meant to show the state of where we were as a whole. Because, see, what happened was that by that rainstorm coming through, you had two slaves that went back and told Governor James Monroe what was going on. Hey, man, it's about 10,000 of them been gathered, man, and they planning on raiding the governor and taking over the South and freeing all the slaves into slavery. And when the governor found it out, he sent word to Richmond, Virginia, and all over the South. So now they on point. And before Gabriel Prosser and his army could actually put their plan in action, the authorities knew what was going on. So they were able to stop it. And as a result, a lot of black people that was a part of it got killed. Gabriel Prosser, along with 25 of his followers, were hung. His wife was hung. They arrested about 70 people, but they hung about 25 to 50 people of that 70, including Gabriel Prosser and his wife. His wife. His wife got caught, and a bunch of people got caught. Gabriel ended up escaping, right? And when he escaped, he went to Norfolk, Virginia. And the crazy thing is, when he got to Norfolk, Virginia, he was betrayed again because there was another slave that recognized him and went back and told the man, I just saw Gabriel. And they went and caught Gabriel, and that's when they officially hung him, right? They tortured him first, then they hung him. And he died on October 10th in 1800, in their year of 1800. All right? The slave that told on him was named Billy King. Billy King was the one that told, I just saw Gabriel from Richmond. He's down here in Norfolk. And when they told his master, they found Gabriel and tortured him, and then they hung him. Right? But that's how they have always done throughout these slave rebellions. And the thing is, the rebellion didn't take place because you had two house Negroes that went back and told the plan. And it's the same way today. You all got some good old house Negroes. They just don't want no freedom. They just don't want to get away from their master. And the crazy thing is when they buried Gabriel and all of those that were involved, there's over 10,000 people involved. You know what I'm saying? So the couple hundred that were killed, that were actually caught, all of them was buried in a place known as Shoe Shock Burial Ground located in Richmond, Virginia. And that was a burial ground that they created just for Gabriel. And the crazy thing is, they did it to try to entrapture Gabriel's energy and spirit because Gabriel was an archangel. They knew that was the archangel Gabriel who had manifested here, who had took an incarnation up. And they buried Gabriel along with other slaves at this burial ground. And the thing is, like I told you, they are into magic, so they turn the numbers too. The location was 1305 North 5th Street. And today, it was located at 1305 North 5th Street in Richmond, Virginia. And those numbers, 1305. 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9. 5 is the number for magic universally. So whether you're practicing witchcraft or magic, that's what 5 represents. So it's not a coincidence that they buried them at 1305 North 5th Street in Richmond, Virginia. Right? And see, the Gabriel Prosser story is a story that they are scared to tell you because even though the slave uprising was ended before it could really start, it shows the power of unity. It shows the power of us coming together, and it shows the power of the fact that they never really had any power. So they don't want to tell you these type of stories. The rebellion was supposed to take place August 30th, but it was spoiled. It was ended and destroyed because two slaves were told the master the plan. And the same thing happened with Nat Turner's rebellion. The same thing happened with Denmark Vesey's rebellion. The same thing happened with Charles Daslam's. And there's so many slave uprisings that took place in this country that they don't even talk about. Because for one, they don't want you to know that niggas had the courage to fight them back. For two, they don't want you to know your real black history and that everybody was not enslaved. For three, they don't want you to know the power of unity. Right? Even with John Brown, you know, in his situation where he tried to, the way he was a white guy, he was a slave abolitionist who tried to end slavery his own way. His was cut short because somebody went back and told the plan. You know what I'm saying? So it's always, that's the original snitching. You know, we talk about snitching now. Shit, niggas been snitching. This shit ain't new. We talk about it now. Niggas snitching, man. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Right? Niggas snitch then, niggas snitching now. It's just back then we wasn't selling no drugs. Back then, the only thing that was against the law was to read and to meditate. And it wasn't really against the law to read. It was against the law to read certain things. They let you read the Bible all day. They let you read the damn Bible all day. You was good with it. But it was illegal if
You have 1 minute left.
It was illegal if you got caught meditating or praying to any gods other than their gods. Basically, talking to your ancestors because they know that we can channel spirits. They know we can summon angels. They knew that, so they don't want you meditating or doing any of those things. This is why it was illegal, right? This is why it was this is why it was illegal. So you must understand that. You must understand the why they keep this hidden from history, man. And you also, I want you to understand how they would have won. That would win in their favor had not two slaves went back and told the plan. You know what I'm saying? To two niggas to go back and tell the plan because they ain't want freedom, and they got into the whole rebellion, got 10,000 people caught up, got others hung and killed, all because they ain't want no freedom. And the crazy thing is they did all that telling just to remain slaves. They didn't get no reward for that. What they might let a motherfucker get a motherfucking extra.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.
Yeah, okay, so when you listen to these stories of these rebellions, man, they piss me off. Because they always damn near insane. The only one that was successful was the Gullah Wars of the Gullah tribe in the Carolinas and the Haitian Revolution. And that's why they don't teach us about the Haitian Revolution at all. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the most recent rebellions that we actually won. They don't teach you about the rebellions in Jamaica neither. You know, and why they start calling the locks dreadlocks. This is where the dreadlock title originated. We talking real black history. They don't teach you about that. See, a lot of people don't know that neither. Like, you had the slave uprising in Jamaica because Great Britain had took over Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, they still do own Jamaica. But when they first came to Jamaica, it wasn't called Jamaica, and they were trying to take over the island, and we fought fiercely, using all forms of voodoo, hoodoo, and magic, and they couldn't do nothing with us. You get what I'm saying? They couldn't do nothing with us like they never could. You get what I'm saying? And this is when we would retreat to the woods and the hills and the mountains of Jamaica, the jungles of Jamaica, and the Spanish would come out to the jungles looking for us. And every time we popped, when they would see us, all they would see is locks, and they would get killed. Like, they don't see us at all, and then we just pop up from behind a bush or something. They see a big, strong black god or goddess, eyes glowing up, etheric field glowing up, aura glowing up, and long, thick-ass locks. Because we were natural back then. We didn't part of anything. So think about how the guys where they locked down in Florida. A lot of them wear they shit natural like you're supposed to. Think about how people lock stuff on the islands and how we style them in different ways. It can't. If you look at it, I know it's our culture, but you can see why I would intimidate somebody else. Like, these motherfuckers look crazy. We got feathers and shit all on us there. What the fuck is all that, right? And when they see us, they would see the locks, and then boom, they get hit with a spear. They get killed. So this is when they start dreading the locks. They start calling us dreadheads because they dread seeing us, because anytime they seen us, they would get killed. This is where the true name of dreadlocks started, because they not called dreadlocks, they called locks. But because they don't teach us our real black history, people don't know even where the title dread even came from. Right? But this is why. And you had a group of us that were known as the Maroons. You know, like the color maroon? That name comes from a tribe in Jamaica known as the Maroons. Talking about Black History Month, y'all. Let's talk real Black history, Cosmic Family. And that tribe called the Maroons was the tribe that was doing like they were there protecting the island. Just like the Navy and the Army protects America, well, the Maroons was protecting the island, now known as Jamaica, because before they named it Jamaica, all of that was ancient names, which I don't want to use right now over the phone because I want to say it publicly with y'all when I get home. But that was an uprising, which we eventually lost. And when we lost that uprising in Jamaica, that's how it became Jamaica. Right? It wasn't called Jamaica originally, you know what I'm saying? That's how it became Jamaica. And even if you look at the Jamaican flag, it looks just like the Great Britain flag. The only difference is the colors. And see what they did, they became smart. They didn't like uprisings because we a handful. So what they start doing is, okay, well, we'll let them place a few colors in the flag to make them more like it's freedom and independence, or we'll give them a government to make them think they have a voice. It's what government started coming in at, right? Because there was too many slave uprisings. So then they started giving us government to make us feel like we would have some form of a choice. You know what I'm saying? And this is where all this stuff comes from. But that's an illusion. We still living in the same state. The only difference is back then we were aware that we were spiritually enslaved and mentally enslaved, and now we are not. But we are waking up. 2020, the planet is alive. A lot of portals open. A lot of that energy gets cleaned up, and this is why you see this mass and great awakening taking place on the planet. And everything returned to nature. You get what I'm saying? Because real Black history has been hidden from us for way too long. You get what I'm saying? It's just, if you just study on your own without even listening to Rashad Jamal, look at all the world wonders. Ain't no wonders. It's a wonder because they don't want to tell you what the fuck was really going on. You see what I'm saying? You got all these world wonders. You got all these famous locations where it's all these beautiful monuments and things that they tell you, oh, we don't know how it got here, how it was formed, or how these pyramids was built. And, man, it's pyramids everywhere. Under the water, above the water, in every country, in every state. For real. They don't want you to know that. So they're going to tell you it's a world wonder. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to tell you about real Black history. So with Gabriel Prosser, man, that's just another story of many that exist. And he did anything for freedom. Anything for freedom. And I salute my hat to the individuals that came and did things like that put their life on the line to end oppression, to put their life on the line to end evilness, to destroy evil. Because at the end of the day, it's just an evil act. So anybody that fight against evil always had to get my respect. In as many forms or ways you can fight against that. And that's why to this day they don't like revolutionaries. You know what I'm saying? That's why the government and stuff created the COINTELPRO programs in the 20s and 30s, right? They don't like to make sure no more messiahs arise, the people that can inspire and mobilize the minds and the souls of the people. You don't have to do nothing physically. I wasn't mobilizing people physically. I was mobilizing people spiritually. I was making them think. I'm making you think. You know what I'm saying? I'm helping you to remember. I'm leading you to enlightenment. They don't like that. We never did nothing physical. We don't preach hurting nobody, nothing like that. But because it's so much spiritual and esoteric truth that I give you, it frees your soul. And now you're going to go free others. And that's what they don't like. So they're going to try to do anything they can to destroy it. Now realizing that I am the one. I'm the one that was sent to put an end to it all. So the ancestors are not going to let y'all destroy it. They're not going to let y'all destroy me. You know, I am here to be the example that, no, good always wins in the end. You know what I'm saying? It may look like y'all won. It may look like y'all stopped something, y'all ain't stopped nothing. People are still awakening every day. And I have played a major part in that because I came to spread the message. I came to enlighten and inform. Like I've told you, and increase the frequency of the planet, as well as help with the planet of its parasitical invaders. They can't do nothing to me. They can test me. Because at the end of the day, this is not white people doing this to me. White people have been used as the medium, but this is Zeus. This is Rashad Jamal. Divine insight versus Zeus in his fallen kingdom, because I am a warrior for righteousness. Right? This is what this is. You see what I'm saying? Everything else is just a medium. I see past the veil, so I know who my enemy is. I know who's doing this and trying to stop it. There ain't no white folks doing this to me. White people are being used as a medium. This is a spiritual war, a spiritual attack that took place against myself and my family, as well as my cosmic family. But they won't stop nothing. They won't stop the truth from spreading. And you can't kill me because I'll never die. You can't destroy me because you didn't create me. You can lie, You can spread dirt. You can spread rumors. You can breathe the all. You can bring the whole house. And just like Daniel in the lion's den, I'm going to walk out this bitch unscathed and only go harder. You can put the snipers on the roof, and when he go to squeeze the trigger, the bullet won't even come out. That's how divinely protected I am. I am Neo of the Matrix. Cause we didn't send too many down here that we didn't let y'all destroy. So we ain't letting no more people get destroyed. We need the people that's here to realize to not fear Satan. Love Almighty God. Love your higher self. And righteousness will always win in the end. It's a fight. Just like when you watch a boxing match. What boxing match you ever watch? I don't give a fuck if it was Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? What boxing match you ever watched? And there was a time when the opponent got some hits in and was hurting boxer. Or it's like and eventually the boxer wins. You know what I'm saying? Even Floyd Mayweather, he's 51-0. But yeah, hella fights he was in where the first round dude got some good hits in, but at the end Floyd Mayweather always win, right? Like the superhero movie. And I always start off the evil guy getting that moment when he wins, and you think it's over with for the superhero, then after lose the superhero, because they show you that because that's how this shit go. And that's the moment we had. Yeah, they got some hits in. They locked the nigga up. They spread lies. They paid people to say I wasn't in prison. They paid people to say, paid people to spread all type of rumors. Paid the mother of my child to construct the case against me. Paid the judges off. Paid the lawyers, the people off to maybe say something they didn't want to say because they felt pressure. I understand it. I'm not upset with nobody because I know at the end I said nothing but divine love to everybody. Yeah, I got convicted and sent divine love to the judge and the jury and the district attorney who convicted me when I stood up and they asked me, do you have anything else to say to the courts? You can read my transcript. It's a fact. I didn't send no negative energy nobody way. You think they didn't feel that when I walked away? Like, damn, we convict people. They normally cuss us out. He still told us he wishes the best in life. I'm not gonna send negative energy. I send in positive and righteous energy, right? And I know that this is a war that we win. In the end, we win. In the end, the planet will be freed. Zeus's system will be destroyed. There's nothing that can stop that. The planet is returning to the aboriginal beings, to the blacks and Latinos, to the gods and goddesses. The Kundalini energy is rising, and it will continue to rise, man. So we talked about Gabriel Prophet because I wanted to put that story in your face a little bit because they won't do it. They fear us coming together. So that's why they're not going to talk to you about nothing like that. They're not going to talk about how they tortured us, hung us, and then ate us. But with that being said, peace to the gods and gods of the planet Kai. Please share this message on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as far as you can spread it. And please be sure to enroll in my online website for the new followers who don't know I have one. I have a website, www.theuci.online. Please enroll in it to get audio lectures, to hear more audio lectures, to purchase crystals, real crystals, not the fake ones that they out there selling y'all these fake crystals. Crystals should not be cheap. A crystal is a diamond is a crystal. Our diamond is cheap. So if somebody's selling you crystal, I'll take my 12. Okay, it might feel better to you, but you don't have the power of a real crystal. You want real crystals, come shop with Rashad Jamal in the UC.online. It's going to cost you a little more, but at least you got you a real crystal that's actually cleansed, consecrated, and charged by Rashad Jamal, his personal team, with spiritual blessings. Go get the merch, the Copper Free Rashad Jamal shirt, because very soon that shirt's going to say Rashad Jamal Free. Support Mataji, support We Heal Hearts, our herbalistic healing company, founded by my wife, co-owned by myself. We got CMOS, we got things to help you on all forms of life. I love y'all deeply, man. I leave as I come. Now we rise. Ashe.